Welcome to Ouroboros Unbound, where science meets mysticism and curiosity leads the way. Here, we explore the hidden threads that weave reality together, from ancient symbols like the Ouroboros to cutting-edge discoveries in quantum physics. If you're ready to question everything, you're in the right place. Let's dive into the infinite loop of history, philosophy, and meaning behind the Ouroboros, and what it reveals about us. The Ouroboros first appeared in ancient Egypt, around 1600 BCE, as part of a funerary text known as the enigmatic Book of the Netherworld. Here, it symbolized the unending cycle of life, death, and rebirth, a cosmic serpent circling the sun god Ra's nightly journey through the underworld. Centuries later, the Greeks adopted the symbol, weaving it into their own philosophical framework. Heraclitus, the philosopher of eternal change, might have seen the Ouroboros as a perfect metaphor for his doctrine of Pantare. Everything flows. He believed that life is a perpetual cycle of becoming, where destruction births creation and opposites dissolve into unity. But not everyone saw the Ouroboros as harmonious. Nietzsche, grappling with the concept of eternal recurrence, described it as both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a universe endlessly repeating itself, trapping us in an infinite loop of every joy and every regret. To truly grasp the depth of the Ouroboros, we need to step into the minds of the philosophers who shaped our understanding of existence itself. Let's start with Heraclitus, the enigmatic thinker of ancient Greece. He's famous for saying you cannot step into the same river twice. Why? Because the river is always flowing, always changing, just like life itself. Heraclitus believed that all existence is governed by flux, a constant interplay of creation and destruction. What better symbol for this eternal dance than the Ouroboros, endlessly consuming and renewing itself? It's not just a serpent, it's the embodiment of the cycle of becoming. But contrast that with the Platonic view, the idea that beyond this ever-changing world lies a realm of eternal, unchanging truths. Plato would likely see the Ouroboros as a shadow, an imperfect reflection of a higher ideal, a perfect unity that exists beyond time and space. Is the Ouroboros merely a representation of the physical world, or could it also point to these higher, timeless truths? Jump forward to the Enlightenment, where the Ouroboros gained new meaning. Philosophers like Hegel saw history itself as cyclical, a series of conflicts and resolutions, each stage giving birth to the next. Hegel's dialectical process mirrors the Ouroboros. Thesis meets antithesis, destruction gives rise to synthesis, and the cycle begins again. It's a profound reminder that progress is born of tension, and creation requires destruction. Yet, the Ouroboros isn't just about cycles, it's about paradox. Friedrich Nietzsche, wrestling with the concept of eternal recurrence, found the Ouroboros both exhilarating and horrifying. Imagine, he said, that your life, every joy, every sorrow, every triumph, every mistake, will repeat endlessly forever. How would you live if you knew this? The Ouroboros asks us to confront that question. Can we embrace the infinite, or does it terrify us? And what about more recent thinkers? Take Albert Camus and his philosophy of absurdism. Camus argued that life is inherently meaningless, a Sisyphean task where we endlessly push a boulder uphill, only for it to roll back down. But perhaps the Ouroboros offers a different perspective, one where the cycles aren't pointless but essential. Could the serpent devouring its own tail represent the beauty of persistence, the joy in embracing life's eternal rhythms even without ultimate meaning? This symbol forces us to confront some of philosophy's most enduring questions. Is life a closed loop, a prison of repetition, or is it an infinite spiral, growing and evolving with every cycle? The Ouroboros, like philosophy itself, refuses to give us easy answers. Instead, it invites us to wrestle with the contradictions at the heart of existence. Are we trapped in its coils, or do they hold us together, weaving the fabric of reality itself? To explore the mystical depths of the Ouroboros is to step into the shadowy world of ancient rituals, esoteric wisdom, and secret knowledge passed down through millennia. The serpent isn't just a symbol, it's a guide, a cipher, a portal to understanding the hidden connections that underpin reality. The Ouroboros first gained spiritual prominence in ancient Egypt, where it symbolized the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The Egyptian priests who inscribed it onto their sacred texts believed it represented the sun god Ra's nightly journey through the underworld. Every dawn was a rebirth, every dusk a death. To them, the Ouroboros wasn't just metaphorical, it was cosmic law etched into the very fabric of existence. Fast forward to the Hellenistic world, where Hermeticism, an esoteric tradition blending Greek philosophy, Egyptian mysticism, and astrology, adopted the Ouroboros as a central symbol. The Hermetic principle of as above, so below suggests that the macrocosm of the universe mirrors the microcosm of our lives. The Ouroboros perfectly encapsulates this idea, a self-contained loop where the beginning and the end are one and the same. It whispers, "You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe." In alchemy, the Ouroboros takes on new meaning as a symbol of transformation. Alchemists, those enigmatic seekers of the philosopher's stone, used the Ouroboros to represent the process of creation and destruction necessary to achieve spiritual and material perfection. One of the most famous alchemical texts, the Chrysopoeia of Cleopatra, depicts the Ouroboros encircling the phrase hen to pan, one is all. It's a reminder that in the alchemical process, opposites, fire and water, earth and air, must dissolve and merge to create something greater. Even in Kabbalistic mysticism, echoes of the Ouroboros appear. The snake biting its tail aligns with the idea of Ein Sof, the infinite, boundless aspect of divinity. In the Kabbalistic tree of life, cycles of energy flow endlessly through the Sephirot, much like the Ouroboros endlessly renews itself. The Ouroboros also appears in Norse mythology. Jormungandr, the world serpent, encircles Midgard, the human world, biting its own tail. This serpent isn't just a threat, it's a protector holding the world together. Yet in Norse eschatology, Jormungandr plays a dual role. During Ragnarok, the end of the world, it will release its tail, unleashing chaos. The Ouroboros reminds us that creation and destruction are inextricably linked. One cannot exist without the other. And then there's the occult. Across centuries, secret societies like the Rosicrucians and the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn have revered the Ouroboros as a symbol of esoteric enlightenment. In their rituals, the Ouroboros represents the unbroken cycle of initiation and mastery. To them, it's not just a symbol, it's a living force, a reminder that the path to wisdom is endless and ever-renewing. Even in modern mysticism, the Ouroboros finds its place. Practitioners of lucid dreaming often report encountering serpent-like entities coiled and infinite in their journeys through the subconscious. Some believe these dream serpents represent the Ouroboros itself, guiding them through the labyrinth of the psyche. What's fascinating is how the Ouroboros blurs the lines between the physical and the spiritual, the real and the symbolic. It dares us to question, is this a map of the universe or a map of the soul? A representation of cosmic order or a doorway to chaos? Science, like the Ouroboros itself, is a cycle, each discovery dismantling old ideas and birthing new ones. What's fascinating is how the Ouroboros, an ancient symbol, seems to echo patterns we're only beginning to understand through modern science. Let's begin with biology. The Ouroboros mirrors the processes of life itself. Think of cellular regeneration. Old cells die, their components are broken down, and new cells rise from their remains. At the heart of our biology lies DNA, a molecule that contains the blueprint for all living organisms. DNA replicates through a cycle that feels almost alchemical. Strands split apart, copy themselves, and rejoin, much like the Ouroboros consuming itself to create anew. In ecosystems, the Ouroboros plays out on a grander scale. Every organism is part of a cycle: birth, death, decay, and rebirth. Dead matter nourishes soil, which grows plants, which feed animals, which eventually return to the soil. This closed loop of energy and matter is the Ouroboros made manifest in the natural world. And what about the cosmos? The Ouroboros' circular form resonates deeply with what we know or speculate about the universe. Many cosmologists believe the universe itself operates in cycles. The Big Bang expands everything outward, but gravity might one day pull it all back in a big crunch, collapsing the universe only to birth another. This cycle of expansion and contraction echoes the Ouroboros' eternal loop: destruction feeding creation, endings birthing beginnings. Some physicists have even proposed a more radical idea: a cyclical multiverse. Imagine countless universes being born, growing, collapsing, and giving rise to new universes in an infinite sequence. If that's true, the Ouroboros might not just be a symbol for our universe. It could represent the entirety of existence, a self-renewing infinity. Then there's the microscopic world, where the Ouroboros finds echoes in quantum physics. At the quantum level, particles behave in ways that defy intuition. Consider quantum entanglement. Two particles, no matter how far apart, remain mysteriously connected. When you observe one, you instantly change the state of the other. This is Pookie action at a distance, as Einstein called it, hints at a reality where everything is interconnected, much like the Ouroboros unbroken cycle, where every part is bound to the whole. Even entropy, the fundamental law that governs disorder in the universe, aligns with the Ouroboros. Entropy tells us that systems move toward chaos, but this isn't the whole story. Chaos creates the conditions for order to emerge again. A forest fire destroys, but its ashes nourish new growth. Stars explode in supernovae, but their remnants become the raw material for new stars, planets, and even life. The Ouroboros captures this paradox beautifully. Destruction and creation are inseparable. And what about the human mind? Neuroscience gives us one of the most personal connections to the Ouroboros. The brain is a self-referential system. It observes, processes, and reflects upon itself in an endless feedback loop. This is especially evident in consciousness, where we think about our own thoughts, creating a cycle of self-awareness. Could this self-referential nature of the brain be our personal Ouroboros, a reminder that we're always creating and consuming our reality simultaneously? The Ouroboros isn't just an ancient symbol, it's a universal pattern. From the smallest cell to the largest galaxy, from the processes of the mind to the cycles of the cosmos, its message is clear. All things are connected, all things are cyclical, and every end is a beginning. But perhaps the most intriguing question is this: did the ancients intuit these truths long before we had the tools to measure them? Or are we simply rediscovering what they always knew? The Ouroboros has always been a symbol of mystery, but what if it's more than that? What if it's a code, a secret embedded in human history, hidden by those who sought to control it, or perhaps those who understood its true power? Let's start with its reappearance in secret societies. The Rosicrucians, a mystical order shrouded in secrecy, adopted the Ouroboros as one of their symbols. They believed it represented the unity of opposites, the merging of spiritual enlightenment and material mastery. But the Rosicrucians were also known for encoding esoteric knowledge in their symbols and texts, hiding it from the uninitiated. And then there's the Freemasons, whose rituals and symbols often include references to cyclical time, balance, and the interconnection of all things. While the Ouroboros isn't their most prominent symbol, it's often found lurking in their imagery, hinting at deeper, concealed meanings. Could it be that these groups saw the Ouroboros as more than just a representation of infinity, as a key to unlocking cosmic truths? Some researchers point to the Ouroboros' presence in alchemical texts as evidence of an encoded message passed down through generations. In the alchemical pursuit of the philosopher's stone, the Ouroboros represents the ultimate transformation, where opposites dissolve and the cycle of material limitation is broken. But what if this isn't just metaphorical? Consider the idea that the Ouroboros might hint at a hidden technology or understanding. Certain conspiracy theorists claim that ancient civilizations from Egypt to Mesopotamia possessed advanced knowledge that was lost or suppressed. The Ouroboros could be a remnant of this forgotten wisdom, a symbol pointing to the cyclical nature of time, energy, or even consciousness itself. And what about modern connections? The Ouroboros has quietly appeared in some unexpected places: corporate logos, government insignias, and even popular culture. Why would this ancient symbol, seemingly out of place in a world of high technology, continue to surface? Some suggest it's intentional, a subliminal reminder of cycles of control, a quiet reinforcement of power structures that perpetuate themselves endlessly. One of the most intriguing theories ties the Ouroboros to the concept of time itself, not as we understand it, but as a loop. Consider recent advancements in physics suggesting that time may not be linear but cyclical. Could the Ouroboros be a representation of this truth, hidden in plain sight? What if those who understood the cyclical nature of time used it to their advantage, bending the loop in ways that gave them power or knowledge? Then there's the connection to esoteric rituals. Some conspiracy theorists claim that powerful figures throughout history have used the Ouroboros in occult ceremonies, believing it to be a gateway to higher dimensions, or even a symbol of immortality. Could it be that this ancient emblem holds the key to manipulating the cycles of life and death, or tapping into hidden realms of existence? And let's not forget its role in pop culture. The Ouroboros has appeared in everything from movies to video games, often symbolizing secret knowledge or shadowy organizations. Think of Hydra from Marvel, whose emblem is not a serpent devouring its tail but a many-headed hydra, another variation of cyclical regeneration. Or consider its subtle inclusion in science fiction stories where humanity faces endless loops of time, rebirth, and revelation. Is this just creative coincidence, or are these stories echoing something deeper, something long hidden in our collective unconscious? The Ouroboros, as a conspiratorial symbol, challenges us to think differently about history and power. Has it been a tool for enlightenment, or a symbol of control? A key to hidden truths, or a lock to keep us in the dark? What's most fascinating about these theories is how they spark the imagination. Whether or not they're true, they point to a deeper truth. The Ouroboros is not just a relic of the past, it's alive in our culture, our minds, and perhaps even our future. The Ouroboros isn't just a relic of the past, it's a mirror for humanity's deepest questions. Are we trapped in cycles, or do we have the power to break free? Is the universe a closed loop, or an open horizon of infinite possibilities? What's clear is that the Ouroboros remains as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago, reminding us that every end is a beginning, and that the mysteries of existence are always within reach. Now, I want to hear from you. What does the Ouroboros mean to you? Is it a symbol of hope, of mystery, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and join the discussion. We're only just getting started exploring the infinite together. Subscribe now and stay tuned. Join the journey where science meets mysticism and questions lead to the edge of the infinite.